Here we have a SAT math problem. Okay, let's go to the question. If the difference between a number and its positive square root is 12, what is the number? Okay, now let me assume x as a required number. Let me write the stuff over here. And it's a positive square root is just square root of x. Okay, now we have to get the difference between the number and its a positive square root. Okay, now let's go with the information over here. So the difference between the number and its positive square root is 12. So actually the difference is a positive value over here. Okay, whenever I want to find difference between two numbers, I have to do subtraction between them. And when the difference is a positive value, I have to subtract the smaller value from the bigger value. Okay, here we have x and square root of x, and now we have to get difference between these two. So which one is smaller? When I take square root for a number, so the square root of the number will be smaller than the number. So clearly square root of x is smaller than x. So what we have to do is we have to subtract the smaller value square root of x from the bigger value x, because in the given information the difference is a positive value. Okay, now let me do it. X negative square root of x. This gives the difference between a number and a square root. According to the information, it is equal to 12. Okay, here when we look at the negative sign in front of the square root, we may get confused. The question says a positive square root, but here we have a negative sign in front of square root. Actually, this negative sign is taken to get the difference between the number and its square root. Okay, now what we need is we need to solve for x in this equation, which represents a required number. For that, let me subtract x from both sides. 1 second. So then positive x, negative x will cancel out. Then I'm getting negative square root of x equals to 12 negative x. Okay, now let me square both sides of this equation to get out the square root over here. Then I'm getting negative square root of x a whole square equals to 12 negative x the whole square. Okay, here I have even exponent for a negative value over here. Whenever we have even exponent for a negative value, then the negative value inside the parenthesis will become positive. Okay, then my next step, this negative sign will be no more because of the even exponent over here. Then we just have square root of x a whole square, and here we can get the square of this binomial. I mean, we can get expansion of the square of this binomial using the algebraic identity, that is a negative b the whole square, that is a square and negative 2ab positive b square. Okay, here we have the square of a binomial. Its expansion is over here. Okay, now to get this expansion of the square of the binomial over here, we have to compare this one with this. At the place of a, we have 12. At the place of b, we have x. So in this expansion, we have to write 12 at the place of a and x at the place of b. Okay, let me do it. Then I'm getting 12 square negative 2 times 12 times x positive x square. Let me write it. Okay, here on the left side, the square root and the square will cancel. We get x equals to the value of 12 square is 144 negative 24x positive x square. Now we can subtract x from both sides. When I subtract x from both sides, this positive x negative x will cancel. Then I'm getting 0 equals to 144 negative 25x positive x square. Okay, now we have to solve this quadratic equation. Okay, let's write this quadratic equation standard form, that is ax square positive bx positive c equals to 0. Usually we write everything on the left side with the x square term at first, then x term, constant term, and also we'll have 0 on the right side. So in the same way we can write this one. So we can write this complete stuff on the left side in the order x square negative 25x positive 144 equals to 0. Let's try to solve this quadratic equation by factoring. For that, we have to multiply the constant term positive 144 by the coefficient of x square. In this case, it's 1. When I multiply positive 144 by 1, I'm still getting positive 144. Okay, now I have to get two factors over here, so that the product of the two factors equals to positive 144, and the sum of the two factors equals to the coefficient of x, that is negative 25. I think negative 16 and negative 9 will work. When I multiply them, I'm getting positive 144. That is negative times 9 will become positive. 16 times 9 is 144. When I add them, I'm getting negative 25, which is a coefficient of x. Okay, further, I have to divide both these factors by the coefficient of x square, that is 1. Even when I divide negative 16 and negative 9 by 1, still I'm getting negative 16 and negative 9. Okay, now to get the values of x, to get the first value of x for this quadratic equation, I have to change the sign of the first factor over here. It's already negative. When I change the sign, it will become positive, that is 16. So the first value of x is 16. Now to get the second value of x in this quadratic equation, I have to change the sign of the second factor over here. It's already negative. If I change the sign, it will be positive. Okay, I'm getting two values for x, 16 and 9. So now we have to identify, so which is the required number, 16 or 9. So for that we have to verify both the answers with the given information. Okay, now let me consider 16 as the required number. So according to the given information, the difference between the number that is 16 and its positive square root. Positive square root means square root of 16, which is equal to 4. The difference between the number 16 and its positive square root 4 is equal to what? It's 12. That is exactly what I have in the question. So the value of x, I mean the number 16 satisfies the condition given in the question. So we can accept 16 as the required number. Anyways, we can verify the second answer 9 also. So let me take 9. The square root of 9 equals to 3. Now let's get the difference between the number 9 and its square root, positive square root 3. So when I find the difference between 9 and 3, that is 9 negative 3 is equal to, I'm getting 6. But according to the information, the difference between the number and its positive square root has to be 12. But here we are getting the difference 6. So the second value of x, I mean this number does not satisfy the condition given in the question. Therefore, the required number is 16.